Paranoid mosquitoes getting off my skin teeth, eh? Hey man, look at this. What you know about this buzz down, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the bones. Bones on the buzz down, man.
Hey, Sipo.
Everyone's parking when they want to now, basically. No, we're just parking someone inside. They get another person in there. But everybody's just
Bro, it doesn't exist right now.
we didn't even have graduates. It's too early, though.
Bro, you playing with the buzz down, bro. Bro, watch your lips. Watch your lips.
That's their second part.
Bro, watch your... Bro,
yeah, we don't want them.
Okay.
Who made these? Fred.
You tell your friend I said, thank you.
Okay, Kevin. Hey, Flo. Hey, not Flo. Hey, Steve Flo.
Feel me? Hey, guess what? All y'all thought that I wouldn't graduate?
Andrea!
Joke's on you. Kevin! Hey, yeah!
Hey, why you on the roof?
I know. I wanted to surprise y'all.
No, stop. When we leave.
Oh, right here? Hey, Sipo.
Hi, Nana.
Did you get it? I gotta turn into like a super dude, though. A super dude. Hey, wait.
Look at that flash on though.
Hey, is that Emma? Sipo, flash on. I'm not doing that.
Oh, bro, if you ever wink at me like that again, Wallace, if you ever wink at me like that again, bro,
Hey, what happened?
you gonna lose that eye. Oh my God.
What? Hey, Sipo. Where?
On me, you
Tyrese
can
Maxey, John Moran.
He swears he got something like Kentucky.
Hey.
I know, everybody would dress like Ethan goes to Kentucky. He's rebellious.
Hey, Wallace. Sipo. You got
Mo Bamba.
Come on, Wallace. Carson Edwards.
Carson Edwards.
Hey, James. What are you?
Hey, what's his name?
We got Zion. I'm Zion. Tyreek Hill.
Hey, y'all remember that fake phone section?
Wait, was it the high school? We played empty weavers.
No.
¿Sí tiene el radio para la...
Ya la voy, Molo!
funcionando ahorita? 88.7?
Hey, my youth. I'm busting down, dude. You feel me? Que, Dominicana,
Para
We
ellos
play
también
baseball.
lo tocan fuerte para que no puedan sentir. Oh, perfect. Porque con esa cosa quería agarrarlo, pero no me está funcionando ahorita.
Bro, I'm kind of mad, bro. Sam Chuck is the only one wearing a turtleneck. I should bust mine out too.
Good morning.
I'd like to welcome all of you to the 2020 Rio Lindo graduation. If you would all turn your FM radios to 88.7, you should be able to hear what we're saying inside your cars. I would like to have everybody please remember to stay in your car. Please do not stand on the top of the car. Please do not sit on top of the car. Please stay. That's the only way that we were able to have this ceremony, and so thank you for helping us. Number one, I'd like to thank all of you for being here. You are great kids and great students. We have missed you over the past couple of months. School is actually a kind of a fun place for about 2 days after you leave, and then it gets really dead. So welcome back, and I'm glad that all of you could make it. Thank you for staying with us through this unique year, and it has been unique. Remember the beginning of the year where sometimes we had electricity and sometimes we didn't? That's the first time that I've seen that happen at this school. Then we had the fire evacuation, and you had to go home for a couple of weeks. And then we had troubles getting the electricity turned back on after that. And then, because of COVID-19, we went to distance learning and social isolation and all the rest of the COVID restrictions, which we're still dealing with here today for your graduation ceremony. On the other hand, in spite of all the difficulties, each and every one of you has made it to graduation. You are now prepared for college. And I would like to point out that you are forever going to be unique. You are the first class that has graduated on the athletic field. You're the first class that's had their number hung up on the backstop behind us. You're the first class that will have your graduation ceremony from the back of a truck trailer. You are unique in so many different ways, and just remember that even though it's been a very difficult year, you guys can truly say that you are the class of many, many firsts. So now it's my privilege to welcome all of you with your gallery of firsts to the 2020 graduation. Let's bow our heads for a moment of prayer. Father, thank you so much for being with us throughout this year. You know what the struggles have been, besides the regular struggles of learning, testing, passing classes, passing tests, and all the other things, the evacuation, the distance learning. Each one of these students has put a lot of effort in. Each one of their parents have helped them. Thank you for all of that, and we ask that you be with us here as we celebrate this accomplishment today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Testing. Is it on? No. My ear. I get hooked on. Is it there now? I think okay. There we go. Up. Okay. I think I'm having trouble with it here. My glass is there. Hello, class. Whoa. Yeah. Oh yeah. Did the little thing come up? Is it testing? All right. Okay. You know, putting this together, I said to myself, Self, you got to keep it together. You're going to be talking to a wonderful group of faces. However, would you please some way wave so I know you're there? Yes. Woo! Yes. All right. You know what? I get this whole trailer. Woo! I get the whole trailer. What this reminds me of, as I look out, if some of you who are a little older, okay, those of you a little older may recognize that in the 50s and the 60s, the drive-in theater was a big deal. Yeah, you had a screen that was here. But guess what? Today you have 2020 that's in front. I hope that I can make it through this few minutes with you. You don't know how hard it's been. Some of you may have just seen the story. I just heard the story that this wonderful guy who worked for a company, and he was a defense worker. His buddies decided to give him a special gift. And again, I don't know if you know, but they wanted to give him a special gift. It wouldn't be like a graduation gift, but it was a real special gift. And they didn't tell him what it was, except you're going to get, and he said, a ride? He'd never been in a plane before, but he said, a ride? Okay. But he wasn't sure what the ride was going. And so, as they put him in the car, they drove him to the Air Force Base. Went into the base, he got a little nervous. And then he got a little bit more nervous as they continued down toward the runway, toward the tarmac. They stopped and they said, see that over there? See that jet? And he goes, yes, I see the jet. Well, that's your ride. His blood pressure went up. His heart rate went up. He didn't want to tell his friends that they were giving him a gift of going into that jet, but he was scared to death. And so as he got all ready, they took him a little preparation, got him into a suit and got the helmet, and then they went out to the jet. And they began to climb up stairs of that ladder. He got into the cockpit, and now his knees were shaking, as mine are right now. As I look at you, his knees were shaking. As his knees were shaking, he tried to hold it together. They sat him down in that cockpit. They buckled him in. And as they buckled him in, he wanted to throw up, but he couldn't. They put the helmet all the way down, supposedly strapped him in, and there he was. And I looked over his shoulder for a minute and said, okay, this is going to be the ride of his life. So he turned back and started up the engine, started up the jets, and they began to go out toward the runway. As they went out toward the runway, the pilot goes, oh, okay, all right. Of course, he wasn't sure he understood everything, but he knew that he was supposed to stay put, obviously. And so there, and he was like this. And they got to the end of the runway, turned the jet around to take off. And the pilot went, okay, here we go, here's our ride. As they began to thrust forward at the high rate speed of 840 miles an hour, he was in his seat and he felt the G's and he went, oh no, his face went back like this and went, oh no, what's going to happen? As they began to rise off the runway, the pilot had a little, I don't know if it was a joke, I don't remember all that part of the story, but it might have been, but he said, hang on, we're going to go straight up. We're going to do what? We're going to go straight up. And so as they got to the end of the runway and that reached that speed, he went to take off, and as he took off, he said, here we go. And he began to take the plane straight up. The poor guy wanted to yell and scream. He was back like this, and then all of a sudden, at 3 G's, went to, and if you know anything, going straight up, he went to no G's. And he went, what? What am I doing? He began to levitate. Because what happened, they didn't put down the straps. They didn't put down the strap on, and at no G, just start floating. Now the pilot didn't know what was going on. He was right there ready, going straight up like this. Ticker was having the ride of his life. All of a sudden, as he began to rise up, he said, what do I do? No one to help. They didn't tell him about this, that he'd be rising off the seat, that he'd be standing up. And so immediately he grabbed a lever. Yes, the greatest lever ever. Because he needed to be holding something. And so as he held, he pulled back the lever. Bang! Boom! Crash! The pilot didn't know what to do. And he goes, I don't know if he had a mirror or something, but he looked at, all of a sudden, the canopy came off. He flew out of the jet. His helmet was staying in the jet, and he flew way up. And the pilot, I don't know if he had a mirror, going, oh, no! What? No! He floated down 2,500 feet and landed safely on the ground. He had a true shock of his life. You guys have gone through a true shock of your life. This never happened before. And it may never happen again. But we don't know. He had the shock. And I can imagine as he came down like this, wondering what happened. What they did is they forgot to tie him down. They forgot to tighten his helmet. And he had the shock and the ride of his life. This happened to you guys March 16. So, everything was going fine. You looked for graduation. You didn't look to history class or to government class or to economics class. You just said, oh yeah, we looked for graduation. We reached 220, 2020. But you were shocked. On! Do you know what that was like for me? You ask every faculty member here. You ask every faculty member here. They ask who is ready to do online learning and teaching. They all raised their hand. And then they said, who isn't ready? I was so embarrassed. I raised my hand. You should have seen them laughing at me. Laughing at me. Because I wasn't ready.
No.
I was shocked. There are 2 letters in the alphabet. One, Z. I will never like Z again. Zoom. Zoom to me meant flying away. It did not mean to me to be with you on a screen, sitting there trying to figure out who you are. Then the other letter, A. Now I don't know the day, but A. Are you there? Some of you pajamas. Some of you with hair like this. Oops. I don't have any hair. But when I looked at it, I said, A, are you there? Are you alive? You know how many times I asked that? Are you there? I waited for her. You know what some of you did? You turned me off! You know, that's a wonderful thing on that Zoom where you could put the mic on and mic off. And some of you, wonderful. And so I said, hi, are you there? You never really answered back, yeah. Some of you kind of went, doop. Now there's that other sound too. Doop, 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 doop. That was a great sound because I knew, Kate, you were coming to me. All right. Samantha as president. I always liked it, at least when I talked to you. You say, hi, good morning. Yeah, woo! Yeah. So it was very difficult for me to go through that. It reminds me of another story. This wasn't in the Bible. This is another person that had a COVID-19 experience, a shock. He got up that day and he was dancing around, he was ready. I'm going to go see my brothers. I'm ready to see my brothers. And as he looked at that, he was all ready. So his dad said, go. I have stuff. Go see your brothers. So he ran to see his brothers. As he was going to see his brothers, he was all happy and everything was going to go well. His brothers. And as he saw his brothers, it didn't seem to look the same that he thought it would be. And as his brothers were looking at him, and as he came forward, as he came closer, and closer, they grabbed him and put him down into that pit. And they said, we're going to get rid of you. As he was in that pit, he had only one way to do things. That was to look up. And he looked up, and he had two choices. We have choices today, and he had two choices. And he looked up, and he took a choice that we all know. I want to read to you Genesis 39, 1 and 2. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt for an Egyptian who was one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard, bought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him there. Now, here is the most famous statement. The Lord was with Joseph. I want to put in there, Jesus was with Joseph. That is the only way. Jesus is with you. All of this, and all of these things that are going on that we don't understand. You see, Joseph didn't know what was going to happen. But his covert experience was he was in a ditch, he was taken out of that ditch, and from his family, never, he thought, to see them again. But the Lord was with him. You know, there's somebody else that gave a life for us. You know who that is? He is the all-time immunization forever. I want to read to you what he said to us. Matthew 28:20. Hard for me to take it through. And teaching them to do all things. But he said, and surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. He is going to be here. You guys in your annual. Okay, nobody honked. Annual. Thank you. This is not a annual. This is a yearbook. But I called it, as Grandpa Jebbett, as an annual. So forgive me. All right. But as you looked through your yearbook, you looked at all things that you had done or haven't done during the year. But when you think of reflection, what are you thinking of? You're thinking of who you are. But I don't want you to forget, when you're reflecting and you're looking in there, what do you see? I hope that you see a wonderful, wonderful Jesus that has brought you through 4 years of Rio, 3 years of Rio, 2 2 years of real and 1 year of real. We love you. We know what it takes. And we know who can be there. My last little story. Joseph was my favorite. The one about the guy about it. But this is also one of my favorites. A young man grew up. When he looked at his reflection, he didn't care who he was. Because he was going to be something big. He was going to do something great. He was going to be something great. And so what he did is he did that. No matter who he hurt, no matter what he did. And he became a great, and his first monies that he got, he bought himself a beautiful, brand new black Mercedes. And when he began to say, look at me. Look at who I am. Look what I can do. And so he got in that car, and he drove that car. But something happened one day. As he was driving that car, he wasn't paying attention. And as he was going down the street, he was going a little faster than he should. Pretty good. And he was going a little faster. And as he was going there, he didn't notice something on the side of the road because he was looking at himself. He was reflecting himself as selfish person. But he didn't care. And so as he was going along in that car, and as he was traveling along a street, all of a sudden, bang! He came to a screeching halt as his vehicle. And he got out, and there was a young man standing on the sidewalk crying. And as he started crying, oh, he got out, and that young man had thrown something at his car. So he looked at him and went, what am I going to do? He went over, and he grabbed him, and he picked him up, and he said, who are you? What are you doing? Look what you did to my car. And he shook him and shook him and shook him. I want to see your parents. I want to see what happened. The little boy, with tears in his eyes, couldn't say much, but he pointed down to the side of the road, of the street, and there was his little brother. You see, his brother was on his little bike, little trike, and had fallen into the street. And his older brother, not having time to do anything else, said he had to stop that car. So he picked up the closest thing, I believe it was a brick, and he took that brick and he threw it against that beautiful car. A big dent in that car, scratch all the way. I was upset. However, when he took that boy and he hugged that boy, and as he hugged that boy, he looked down at his brother who was in the street that he should have ran over. He reached down and grabbed the little boy. He held both of them in his hands, in his arms. As he held them, he died. I don't know if he had a yearbook of reflection, but he looked at it and realized that his selfishness had almost killed and hurt somebody. But it didn't, because he was stopped. He had a COVID-19 moment. He was stopped in his tracks. You know, he never did. That beautiful car, he never did get it repaired. Because he would go around, and people would ask him, oh man, you're wealthy, why'd you fix that car? And he had the privilege and the opportunity and the privilege and the opportunity in the hospital to help those two boys. I don't know where you are right now, but I have two reflections, and then I want you to repeat something for them with me. The first reflection I have, all of you know, you got a card from me. In that card, I gave you a coin. But that's not important. as far as the dollar is concerned. But if you'll notice on the side, as I ask you to look, you notice it's printed 2020. I hope as your card, as you look at that coin, as you look at what I wrote to you, that you'll remember. What is my famous saying? Tell me, what is my famous saying? Come on, you guys. What is my favorite saying? My favorite friend? What? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thank you. The last one. The last one. Last reflection to you. Yeah? Extra credit. All right. I'm going to try this. It has been a little fussy. Yeah. I want to hear this. I want you to hear this. And again, I hope it works. There it is. Yeah. This is for you. Yeah. You may not. Yeah. I want you to repeat something with me, you with your parents. You think that it's easy for us as faculty to say goodbye, but it's not. I wouldn't have been here for 32 years if it wouldn't have been that way. I would miss all of you. I hope that you will be able to remember that Jesus is with you for all your first, and especially the first we had. I want you to say this with me. Jesus, go with me today. Give me your power each step of the way. Let your presence permeate my work and my play. My work and my play. Jesus, go with me today. Jesus, be with me tomorrow. Heighten delight and diminish my sorrow. It's a tough one, I know. And yet, where you lead, my Jesus, I will follow. Even if some things I find hard to... Jesus, be with me today and tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Courtney, we need you next.
teachers and staff and families that came here today. We all know this isn't the big graduation weekend that we were all to, but this has turned into a really fun day, being able to take pictures and be here together. I want to give a huge thank you to staff members who put this together for us, because it means a lot. So, as all of you know, I'm Oscar and I'm the four-year club president here at Rio. The class of 2020 has the highest percent of four-year club students in Rio history. We have 75% of the class being four-year. The four-year club is extremely diverse, represented by 7 different countries: Korea, China, Taiwan, Malaysia, Fiji, Peru, and of course America, and many other diverse backgrounds. The four-year members have different unique personalities and talents. We have Dawson, who is known for cracking jokes at any moment. We have our ballers, Wallace, Ethan, George, and Hurley. Malachi is the talented spoken word writer and speaker. And do you know who you never see with a frown on her face? Lemty. She is always smiling and laughing even in tough moments. Carly is always doing something, whether it's being our star quarterback in flag football or singing in choir and Lindares. Clara is soft-spoken, but she sure is the sweetest, and she speaks her mind whenever needed. Kara is one of the toughest girls I know, being the strongest and fastest little rusher in flag football. If you ever want to debate with someone, Brian is your guy. He can put up a pretty good argument about anything. Esther is very musically inclined, as she is a beautiful and singer, as well as Andrew, who also sings and plays the violin. I have never seen anyone so proud of their country than Andrea. Always hyping up Peru whenever she gets the chance. Gabe and Elisib are very talented sketchers, always drawing whenever you see. And David is the most stylish one in the class, rocking a new cool fit every day. Samantha is our amazing and reliable class president, always keeping everyone on track of things and staying positive through all the struggles during these past few years. Angela and Annie are laughing 24/7 about anything and everything. Brandon, Hank, Molly, Alex, and Amanda are known for their brains, being some of the smartest four-year members. Mary is our most athletic girl, being part of girls flag football, volleyball, basketball, and even soccer. The student who is the most dedicated to his car is Giovanni. If you ever need to catch him, just head down to the shop. Diego is known for being one of our best soccer players, and Josiah is by far the fastest runner in four-year club. I can speak for every single one of us as I say that we have faced a new challenge every year. We have gone through fires, power outages, even some flooding, and now sheltering in place due to the coronavirus pandemic. But still, the amount of amazing memories that we have together outweigh these misfortunes in which we have gone through. It seems like yesterday when we were freshmen causing chaos in the halls and always hanging out in Mrs. Schmidt's classroom for no reason at all, but just because we loved her. And no one can forget about freshman work crew, the most tiring and longest 2 hours of everyone's lives each day. Freshman year is remembered for having an extremely fun music tour. The former music music director, Mrs. White, took Lindare's orchestra and handbells to Los, where the groups got to go to many different exciting places. She took the students to Disneyland, an escape room, a laser tag arena, and its tallest open-air observation deck with a glass slide known as Sky Space. There was also a mission trip that year to Cambodia with the former librarian and world history teacher, Mr. Webb. I were the only freshmen on the trip, being the youngest there, but still eager to help the orphanage we went to, and we were all impacted in so many ways by the wonderful children. Sophomore year was definitely a tough year for everyone. It was the year of the Tubbs fire in Sonoma County. Homes were destroyed, including my own home, and schools were destroyed. Following the fires, we welcomed the Redwood Adventist Academy students onto our campus, giving them the ability to continue their learning at their school. The moment that outshines the fires, however, is the Europe trip that Mr. Yingling put together, taking students to Germany, Hungary, Austria, and Czech Republic. Junior year, we got to welcome students into Rio as the high school portion of Redwood was terminated and a majority of the students enrolled here. They may have been at a different school their first 2 years, but they deserve to be four-year seniors just as much as those who have been at Rio since freshman year. We also got a new principal junior, and it was definitely hard on our class because we were all really close to Mr. Schmidt. Along with gaining many new students and a new principal, Mr. Yingling held yet another Europe trip that year. We had the opportunity to visit Venice, Florence, Rome, and Paris. It was hands down the most amazing trip I have ever been on. Before the shelter-in-place happened, this year was turning into a really great one. We may not have won rope pool, but we took the dub at SWAT. We all went into survival mode at senior experience, cooking our own meals every day, going hiking and swimming, and even whitewater rafting. We got to go to Pacific Union College for their college days to experience what it will be like starting next year, and a few even went to Walla Walla as well. Winter banquet this year far the best we've ever had. We got to dress up, wear masks, watch circus acts, and even watch The Greatest Showman at the end of the night. We had to deal with fires in the beginning of the year, however, being out of school for many weeks due to the Kincaid fire that came really close to Rio. God was definitely watching over and protected our schools so that we could come back. Speaking of God, I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to attend Rio and grow closer to Him these past 4 years. He led me here when I wasn't initially wanting to come, but I wouldn't have been able to meet the people who I call my classmates, and they wouldn't have become some of my closest friends. I also wouldn't have gotten to know the amazing staff that we have here. I had to leave Rio earlier than we wanted to follow Mr. Schmidt, but she has always been my favorite teacher and someone that I will forever call my role model. Mrs. Ton and Mr. Richards have been great class sponsors, and of course we can't leave out Mrs. White, who is a wonderful music teacher and sponsor, and someone who a lot of us seniors looked up to. Mr. Yingling and Mr. Chapman are the teachers who keep us on our toes, with Mr. Yingling giving us endless assignments and Mr. Chapman's happy-go-lucky personality. Oh, that's for the sweet letter and dollar coin, Chapman. And I know he's going to deny that he will miss us, but I think Mr. Tamanaha will be very sad when he doesn't have us to bug constantly, especially me. And one last person, our 4-year club sponsor, Mr. or Coach Hardesty. We may not have been able to do our 4-year trip or 4-year day, but I'm grateful for your dedication to our class and to giving us a tuition today. We have been so lucky to have such wonderful teachers. I know I couldn't have done any of this if it wasn't help in not just classes, but also everything else that has happened in these past 4 years. So thank you so much for everything. Congratulations to us, the class of 2020. We made it, guys. I got the opportunity first to sing with Esther, but this song especially, it's very dear to my heart. I've been wanting to sing it for my graduation for literally 6 years, and I'm really thankful I get to sing it for all of you, my class. I think it is really meaningful, especially with what we're going through. And so this is for you all, class of 2020. I pray you'll be our eyes and watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let be our prayer when I didn't think the walk would be that long, but it's okay. I'm here now. Hi! Honestly, I feel like this graduation's like way more fun. Like, don't you guys agree? Alright, welcome family and friends and staff to the graduation of Rio Lindo Adventist Academy for the class of 2020! We all have to admit this year has been definitely one we will not and absolutely cannot forget. At the beginning of the year, we got our wonderful fire break, allowing us to miss like about a month of school. And now, Miss Corona just a little bit more spice to our year. In all honestly, I barely even went to school this year, especially with schedule. Despite all the craziness, God has truly protected us through it all. Yes, it has been a tough year, but there are other senior classes who have gone through way worse. I think about the seniors who have had hurricanes and tornadoes physically destroy their schools, or the school shootings that meant some seniors weren't able to make it to their graduation. We're fortunate enough to not have lost anyone or our school. Being here at Rio for 4 years really changes your life, of course. You adjust to a certain routine. However, with us, it was more like few routines with all the changes that we have gone through. But once you realize that this life, this routine is coming to an end, it's unreal to think that a completely new one is right around the corner. Not being able on this campus, like come on. Not walking around here, unbelievable. Completely unbelievable. This whole atmosphere has been my life for years, and just realizing that I have to leave it, it's not right at all. I have grown to absolutely love this place. In all honesty, Rio is like my home, my other home, and leaving it feels like a breakup. It's mutual, but it still hurts. Even though this year has thrown some curveballs at us, we can't focus on the negative things that have happened. Instead, let's focus on the unforgettable memories we've made throughout the 4 years here. How about the time we went to Albion? And if you don't think that's a great trip, I might have to fight you. Right, Josiah and George? Or how about senior experience when Wallace crushed Sam Chug on the rope swing? Or how about when our football players kept going to the hospital? I mean, 3 in 1 day. I really got that ball rolling, huh? Or even simple things like hanging out on the lawn, watching a movie, playing, watching Josiah run around and around and around for 4 years. Oh, and what about sports game? Hey, Dawson, remember when you were the downs marker for literally every game? And you also helped provide water for all the players. Thank you. Or when the girls' football team played 2 teams and beat them every single time. Or how about our girls' volleyball but come on. I know you guys miss your little babies. How about especially missing the part where they woke up at 4 a.m. crying bloody murder, and you're there trying to figure out, and they just want to be held. They were also great excuses for being late to class. How about during freshman and sophomore year getting to fight over the couches or the yoga balls in Mrs. Schmidt's class for reading time? But really, some of us would end up falling asleep. And we can't forget about those wonderful, deep discussions we got to have with Chaplain Taylor. It really allowed us to explore our minds and talk about how we truly felt about worldly events, and yeah. Or how about always getting to hear the great laughs, especially if it came from me or Wendy. There are so many great memories that we have made that we sometimes take for granted. Each and every one of us has had an opportunity to show off our talents, hobbies, or leadership roles. I am so proud of my classmates who took part in being an essay this year. They did a wonderful job, and they helped make this year great and memorable year. I think about Rio and realize there are so many things that I love about it. For instance, I love how Rio is a way for us to develop a type of relationship that's so unique. It's a kind that you couldn't get anywhere else. It's more of like a family relationship, but even that doesn't describe it fully. And you sometimes get into silly fights with your brother-like and sister-like friends. Sometimes they take your toys or steal your clothes. I'm gonna need my clothes back, by the way. And say mean things, not really. Or we stay up all night, I mean, until 10:30. And standing in the middle of this family are the staff. Here you get to build a strong connection with them, whether from working together or getting one-on-one with them or homework help. All these people make such a huge impact on us and inspire us, and of course are always there to support and help us out. Mr. Yingling took us on amazing trips. Without him, we wouldn't have been able to experience Europe and all its beauty. Ms. Ton took us to Albion to experience the nature instead of just reading and talking about it with us. In Chapman, we got to go to jail without even getting arrested. I love how Chapman brings the lecture to life. Instead of just reading a boring book, we get to, hey, oh, wait. Hey, extra credit, go get that. Or how about those missionary trips? Going to Costa Rica, New Mexico, or Cambodia. I definitely know that 4-year trip in senior day would have been so much fun with you guys. The next thing I love about our diversity, the next thing I love about Rio is our diversity. It's absolutely amazing and how diverse we all are. I mean, we literally have everyone that's like diverse. Everyone is from a different part of the world. We're not all the same, and it's just so amazing. If you go to a regular school, you can see a few people that are different, but with here we have people who come from actual other countries. In our cafeteria, you hear all different languages being spoken. In the classroom, you hear a wide array of ideas being shared. In the dorm and village, you see so many different styles of living, laughing, and learning. It's truly a bouquet of cultures. Rio is really great with helping you to become independent. It allows you to experience what work and adult life is like. We have so many job opportunities that help benefit us for the future. Like in cafeteria, we all get to learn how to prepare food properly in different ways that makes it easier for us when we cook on our own time, and just get to see how the different meals are made. Or how about landscaping? No need for a gardener when you can do it yourself. For me, I got to work with Mr. Handel my sophomore year, and now I know how to survive in the wild. And how could I forget about freshman work crew? Teamwork was like a #1 thing we had going on. The way I clean my bathroom is because of freshman work crew. I recently had to sell my old bed so I could get a new one. And when I had to take the old bed apart, I got flashbacks from when we had to move all the beds down to the dungeon our freshman year. Sometimes I get stubborn to ask for help because I think if I could do it freshman year, I can totally do it now. And if not, come on, Sam, you can do it. Some students also get the chance to become an RA. Being an RA really helps you mature and learn how to work with others, whether they are coworkers or anyone around you. You become a huge role model. You're basically like the older sister for everyone, even though some people are older than you. Getting to work with my fellow RAs and deans while helping out our girls and creating bonds with them has been a huge blessing and highlight of my senior year. On behalf of the girl RAs, we are beyond grateful for this job and opportunity to serve Rio, and want to say thank you so much for this experience. And so, class of 2020, after all Mother Nature threw at us, we were the ones who did it. We were the ones who survived. We finished our last loop together, not only as a class, but as a family, as one. We're the ones who kept pushing through tough times. We stuck it out to the end. We have had so many instances where we wanted to give up and felt like we weren't good enough. But look at us now. We're graduating. We did it. We managed to survive. Instead of just sitting there and crying, not doing our work, we finished off our essays while crying. And I kind of think this deserves some extra credit, Mr. Yingling. We managed to pull through 4 years of hard work. We made it this far, class of 2020. You showed me that whatever comes, we will make it through that. Thank you for making this high school experience one we will never forget. Parents and guardians and staff, on behalf of the class of 2020, we want to say thank you for not giving up on us. You brought us up when we were at our lowest, guided us through our troubles and our teen ways, and sacrificed so much for us to get the best education that we could. Thanks for looking out for us when we weren't thankful, when we weren't studious, when we weren't motivated. We weren't easy to get along with, and when we didn't understand. Hopefully we understand now. You have given us a front row seat to watch ourselves develop or evolve and mature or blossom. Thankfully, high school is over. So that means paying tuition is over. At least just for a few more months. Sorry to break it to you, parents. I know that this didn't end the way we all dreamed about since freshman year. Do you remember the last night on campus? Staff talent show was the last thing we did. I spent a good part of that night roasting the staff. Come to think of it, our year basically started with a fire and ended with a roast. 2019-2020, boom, roasted. This is a pandemic graduation. Oh, sorry. This graduation is definitely something that will go down in history. A story that we will get to share with our grandkids. I'm beyond grateful that we were all there for each other along this crazy journey. Class of 2020, I wish you all nothing but luck and best for your futures. As stated in Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I hope you guys can apply this to yourself when you guys are feeling at your lowest or feel like you can't make it, because I know you guys are gonna make it. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say, and I bet you're saying, yes, finally. But as Michael Scott always says, catch you on the flippity flip. Thank
Good afternoon. It is such a joy to be here and to be able to mirror the joy, the excitement that you and your families, loved ones, the staff here at Rio feel for this joyous and momentous occasion for you graduating. As your admissions counselor and on behalf of Pacific Union College, I want to congratulate you, the class of 2020. You know, you're graduating in a, You're graduating in a very historic time. I don't know that any of you would have imagined that your graduation would have looked like this. I certainly didn't imagine that I would get really comfortable with what the underside of a semi-truck looks like. But, you know, you plan for things and then you make it work. I'm especially honored to present to you this morning scholarships and awards to the senior class on behalf of PEC. Every year, we look forward to recognizing the students on their academic achievements, their leadership, and their service. And this year is definitely no exception. These awards represent the hard work that you have put and that your parents, your guardians, the staff, and the community around you have put in getting you to this place and this moment in your life. PEC is committed to making college affordable for you and your family by awarding financial aid. Last year alone, we awarded more than $30 million to our students, or that is an average of over $22,000 per student. This year, I am so proud to announce that you as a class have collectively been awarded $572,350 to go to college. More cheer. You guys put together your achievements. It's over $500,000. That's insane. You did that. Congratulations. Now, these awards represent only a portion of some of the financial aid that's available to you, and it represents the information that you and your faculty here have given us at PEC. I won't be reading the names of individual people being awarded this morning, but I did want to mention that we included your awards in your graduation boxes that you hopefully have received or will soon. As you begin your next step, whatever that looks for you, I want to remind you there is nothing more transformative and everlasting than the impact that you have on other people. As we start rebuilding what will be our new normal, I hope that you help create a more kind, just, beautiful, and whole world. I want to challenge you to join our PUC goals to learn with purpose, to rise in faith, and to serve with love. It has truly been an honor to get to know you guys and work with you through this whole senior year. I and the PEC family are thinking of you during this time and keeping you each and every one in our prayers. Hope to see you in the fall at PEC, and once again, congratulations, class of 2020.
Class of 2020. This is the day you have anticipated for such a long time. And I know it doesn't look exactly the way we envisioned it, but that's okay. I just want to reiterate the fact that other staff have already told you. We missed you so much these past few weeks. You really just have no idea what this campus is like to just be quiet all the time. But I am so happy that you were able to make it here today so that we could celebrate together with family, friends, staff, and all your fellow classmates. Before I read the names, I thought it would be nice to give you a few statistics about the class of 2020. There are a total of 40 seniors, 17 girls, 23 guys.
Cool.
And although there are several different nationalities represented, we have 11 international students, meaning students who needed a student visa to get in the country. We have 11 international students in this class, 4 from China, 4 from Korea, 2 from Taiwan, and 1 from Malaysia. As you've already been told, 30
30 of the 40 seniors are four-year club members, and yes, I believe this is the largest percentage ever. So, four-year seniors, you've received white cords. And I'd also like to recognize 3 second-generation graduates. Now, what does that mean? That means that 3 of you have been able to walk the halls of Rio Lindo and look at one of your parents' picture on the wall, maybe make a little bit of fun of it, maybe it was a little amusing, I don't know. But it's a really cool thing that 3 of you are second-generation graduates. I'd like to just mention who those are. We have Brandon Almacera. Brandon's mom, Charlene de Peralta, graduated in 1991. The second one is Josie Kachuk. Josie's mom, Victoria Wright, graduated in 1992. And the third one is Ethan Williams. Ethan's dad, Roger Williams, graduated in the class of 1984. And parents, I want to thank you for continuing the tradition of a Christian education at Rio Lindo. Thank you for that and for sharing your students with us. On the academic side of things, 35% of your class received silver cords for a cumulative GPA of 3.25 to 3.74. Also, 30% of your class received gold cords for a cumulative GPA of 3.75 to 4.0. That is really hard to do. So at this time, as registrar at Rio Lindo Adventist Academy, it gives me great pleasure to verify that all the seniors have met the requirements for graduation as outlined by the Pacific Union Office of Education and the Northern California Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. And you'll be happy to know, seniors, there'll be no more emails about your community service, or having, or bringing your grades up. What I just said is just kind of a fancy way of saying you all made it. So congratulations for that. And so at this time, I'm going to read the names of seniors who are graduating today. And just so you know, I'm going to read them in alphabetical order so you can kind of follow along with your program. And seniors, after your name has been called, if you want to, you don't have to do this, but if you want to, after I've read your name, you can come up to the designated area right here, face the group, and let us all cheer for you, all right? So that's an option for you. We'd like to cheer and celebrate your success today. Okay, so without further ado, we'll start with the very first name. Receiving gold cords and an honors diploma, Kevin Matthew Alba. coming. A second-generation graduate and a four-year senior receiving gold cords and a college prep diploma, Brandon Ty a four-year senior receiving silver cords and a college prep diploma, Brian Nazir Altimer. A four-year senior receiving silver cords and an honors diploma, Courtney Martha Asker. A four-year senior receiving an honors diploma, Wallace Levon Bouncer. Receiving silver cords, Cade Josh Chamberlain. So I just want to remind seniors, when you come up front, you can take your mask off. It's okay, all right? It's okay. A four-year senior receiving gold cords and a college prep diploma, Yuhan Hank Chen. Seong Mok Sam Chung. Clara Rose Cornell. A four-year senior, Kay Dasin Senem Dawe. Receiving silver cords and a college prep diploma, Alyssa Amanda Garcia. Here she A four-year senior, Hurley Jean-Pierre. A four-year senior receiving gold cords and an honors diploma, Molly Patricia Jesus. A four-year senior receiving gold cords and a college prep diploma, Unso Annie King. A four-year senior receiving silver cords and a college prep diploma, Dasso Angela Kwan. Receiving a college prep diploma, Corfu Evan Lee. A four-year senior, Samantha Annalise Magnelli Martinez. A four-year senior, Malachi Armani Martinez.
brother, yeah.
A four-year senior, Gabriel
Look here.
Lee Merklin. A four-year senior receiving silver cords and an honors diploma, George Gacho Sipo Andaba Mzizi. A four-year
Can you use
senior,
those?
Andrea Alexander Navarro. A four-year senior receiving gold cords and an honors diploma, Lipti Mana Niranda. A four-year senior receiving silver cords and an honors diploma, Parental Josiah Park. A four-year senior receiving silver cords, Andrew Posse. A four-year senior, Giovanni Joel Casiano. A four-year senior, Mary Walisi Ramakita. A four-year senior receiving gold cords and an honors diploma, Kara Rhoda.
That's my ID, y'all. That's my little thing. ID. Yeah.
A four-year senior receiving silver cords and a college prep diploma, Eliasip Sandoval. Receiving gold cords and a college prep diploma, Yunji Wendy Song. A four-year senior receiving silver cords and a college prep diploma, Sweat Ying Amanda Tan. A second-generation graduate receiving gold cords and an honors diploma, Josephine Danielle Kachuk. A four-year senior receiving silver cords and a college prep diploma, Diego Fernando Feliz Reyes. A four-year senior receiving silver cords, Alexander Earl von Schlunt. A four-year senior receiving gold cords and a college prep diploma, Ethan Esther Wong. receiving gold cords and an honors diploma, and also a 4-year, Carly Elizabeth Weems. A second-generation graduate and a 4-year senior, Ethan Ferguson Williams. Marching with silver cords, Paishon Hannah Sia. A 4-year senior receiving silver cords and a college prep diploma, Shundi David Shong. Xinghao Gary Ewan. At this time, we're inviting your class president to come up and turn the tassel with you to indicate that you have graduated. So follow her lead.
One quick announcement before we have one more event and the final prayer. Each of these pictures up here we want to give to you. So what we're going to do is, as soon as Mr. Benson has a final prayer, and actually the staff can start coming forward right now, all of the staff will take a few of these pictures, and what you're going to have to do is yell whoever has your picture. You need to yell their name, because we're going to be lifting them up like this, and we'll bring them over to your car. After the final prayer and you get your pictures, those of you who did not get the picture in front of the Ed building, please go over there. Please don't leave without doing that. And then the rest of you, thank you for coming and being so cooperative and making this possible. And God bless you, and have a safe trip home.
Okay. I've been asked to thank some special people that helped make this happen today. I want to thank Don and Karen Carpenter and K-Don Trucking for this lovely stage. with the help of the permits for the FM radio station that you can listen to in your cars.
Pastor John!
Class of 2020.
Pastor John!
You bring our total graduating alumni now to 4,656 from Rio Linda West Academy.
Thank you.
When you turned your tassel, you became part of the Alumni Association. You'll find people who graduated from Rio definitely thick through this whole state of California and all across America. So you have alumni friends and connections really throughout the entire world. I'd like you all to now bow your heads as we have a final prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you that we were able to have this graduation. For a while we were afraid we wouldn't have any, but we're grateful that we could get together today with this wonderful group of kids. We've missed them the last 3 months, and we know it's been a trial for them and the teachers and everybody to get everyone through, but they all made it. Thank you for that, Lord. I pray that you'll be with them as they move forward in their lives. Help them to have wisdom in the choices that they make for their futures. Be with them and bless them always. Amen.